You probably feel like you're doing okay with money. Not amazing, not disastrous, just fine. You pay your bills. You track your spending. You move money around at the end of the month and tell yourself, all right, we're good. And that's the dangerous part, because the people who get into real financial trouble usually know they're struggling. The people who stay broke for decades usually feel comfortable enough. They're not reckless. They're responsible. They're managing money. And almost nobody tells them this. Managing money is not the same thing as building wealth. In fact, managing money too well can quietly trap you. It gives you the illusion of control without giving you freedom. And if you don't catch it early, you wake up one day realizing you did everything right and still ended up stuck. Let's talk about why. Idea 1. Why managing money feels productive but isn't enough. There's a reason budgeting apps are addictive. Every swipe feels like progress. Every category feels like discipline. Every notification feels like responsibility. It scratches the same psychological itch as productivity apps. You're doing something. But here's the quiet truth most people never articulate. Managing money only optimizes what already exists. It doesn't change your trajectory. It's like getting really good at steering without ever upgrading the engine. You can categorize spending, cut unnecessary expenses, track every dollar, avoid debt, be smart with purchases, and still be completely dependent on your next paycheck. Nothing wrong with management. It's necessary. But it's foundational, not transformational. And here's where people get confused. They think discipline automatically equals progress. But discipline without direction just keeps you stable in the same place. Let me put it this way. If your income stopped tomorrow, how long would your lifestyle continue unchanged? That answer tells you more about your financial reality than any spreadsheet ever will. Because wealth isn't about how neatly money moves through your account. It's about how much money stays and what it does when you're not paying attention. Most people never move past the first layer. They organize money. They don't deploy it. And because management feels mature, they assume wealth will naturally follow. It usually doesn't. Open loop. If management is only the base layer, what are most people missing? Idea 2. The comfort trap, where ambition quietly dies. Nobody plans to get financially stuck. It happens softly. You land a job. You earn a bit more than before. Life gets smoother. You can afford better food, better clothes, better tech, better weekends. Not extravagant, just nicer. And because your spending stays reasonable, you don't feel irresponsible. But here's the part nobody warns you about. Comfort kills urgency. When life is manageable, your brain stops pushing for structural change. You're not broke enough to panic, not wealthy enough to relax, just comfortable enough to coast. This is the most dangerous financial zone, because discomfort is what forces strategy. When money is tight, people think creatively. When money is abundant, people delegate. But when money is comfortable, people stagnate. They optimize lifestyle instead of leverage. They upgrade experiences instead of ownership. They chase convenience, not control. And here's the brutal irony. Many people earning six figures are more financially fragile than people earning far less. Because fragility isn't about income. It's about dependence. If your lifestyle collapses the moment income pauses, you don't have wealth, you have velocity. And velocity feels good until it stops. Open loop. How do people earn more and still feel financially anxious? Idea 3. Lifestyle inflation isn't the problem. Identity is. Most conversations blame lifestyle inflation. Don't let your expenses rise with your income. Nice advice, rarely followed. Because lifestyle inflation isn't about spending. It's about identity validation. Every upgrade tells a story. I'm doing better. I'm progressing. I'm not behind. That new apartment isn't just space, it's reassurance. That car isn't transport and it's proof. That vacation isn't rest, it's belonging. Money becomes emotional insulation. And here's the uncomfortable part. If your identity relies on external upgrades, your finances will always feel tight. Because no amount of income can permanently quiet insecurity. So people earn more, spend more, and still feel like they're one bad month away from stress. Wealthy thinking flips this completely. Instead of asking, can I afford this? It asks, does this move my future forward? That question changes everything. It doesn't mean you never enjoy life. It means enjoyment is intentional, not compensatory. And once identity shifts from consumer to builder, decisions get calmer, less impulse, less comparison, less emotional spending, more alignment. Open loop. What does wealth actually optimize for, if not comfort? Idea 4. Money is time in disguise. Here's a reframe that changes how money feels in your body. Money isn't value. Money is stored time. Every dollar represents minutes, hours, or years of human life. When you spend money thoughtlessly, you're not losing cash. You're erasing time you already lived. When you invest money wisely, you're buying back future time. That's why wealthy people obsess over leverage. Not because they're greedy, because they understand the exchange rate between money and freedom. Most people only know one trade: time, money. They sell hours to survive. Wealth is built when the trade reverses. Money, time. That's the shift. Ask yourself this honestly. If you didn't need the money, would you still be doing what you're doing right now? If the answer is no, that's not failure. That's information. It tells you what you're actually building toward. The tragedy is that most people never build toward anything. They just maintain, month after month, year after year, and because nothing collapses, they assume everything is fine. Until one day, time becomes the constraint, not money. Open loop. So how do you move from maintenance to momentum? Idea 5. Why most people never start building wealth. Here's where things get personal. Most people don't fail financially because they lack information. They fail because starting forces identity change. Building wealth requires delayed validation. Managing money gives instant feedback. Budgets feel productive today. Investing feels boring now and meaningful later. And humans are terrible at prioritizing later. So they stay busy. Busy managing. Busy optimizing. Busy tweaking. But never committing to long-term systems. This is where discomfort creeps in. Because deep down, a lot of people know, if I actually committed to this, my lifestyle might look different. And that's scary. Wealth building often looks boring on the outside. Less visible spending, more invisible progress. And invisible progress doesn't earn social points. No one compliments your index fund. No one notices your automated investments. No one applauds restraint. But future you does. Quietly, relentlessly, compounding over time. Open loop. What does building wealth actually look like in real life? The wealth shift, from motion to direction. Here's the clean distinction. Managing money focuses on movement. Building wealth focuses on direction. Movement keeps things functioning. Direction changes where you end up. Wealth isn't built through intensity. It's built through systems that work when motivation disappears. That's why calm beats hype every time. Calm investors win. Calm earners win. Calm decision makers compound. They don't chase trends. They don't panic. They don't need constant stimulation. They set things up once, then let time do the heavy lifting. That's not laziness. That's leverage. What wealth actually prioritizes. Wealth prioritizes 3 things. 1. Ownership over appearance. 2. Systems over effort. 3. Time over lifestyle signaling. Not exciting. Extremely effective. It's less about doing more, and more about choosing what not to do. Not upgrading everything. Not reacting emotionally. Not inflating identity through spending. Just steady alignment with a future you actually want to live in. And here's the best part. Once you stop obsessing over management, money becomes quieter. Less stress. Less background anxiety. Less mental noise. Because control replaces chaos. The calm discipline advantage. People think discipline is force. It's not. Discipline is removing friction from the right behaviors and adding friction to the wrong ones. Automatic investing. Default saving. Intentional spending. No drama. No extremes. Just consistency. That's how wealth is built by people who don't look rich, but live free. Final reframe. You don't need to earn wildly more. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need financial genius. You need long-term thinking, identity alignment, calm systems, patience. That's it, because wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much of your future is already secured. And once that clicks, money stops being the main character in your life. It becomes a tool, not a stressor. If this made you slightly uncomfortable, good. That discomfort isn't fear. It's awareness. The next shift most people miss is understanding why some people feel rich long before they technically are, and why others never do. That difference is psychological, and it's the natural next step from this conversation. So on your screen is a video called The Difference Between Being Rich and Feeling Rich. Not as motivation, as clarity. Because once you understand that distinction, you stop managing money, and you start building something that actually lasts.